And Boomer's awesome. And by the way, I saw something that Craig Carton said that he made a prediction and said that Boomer was going to retire. I was like, holy cow here, man. So hopefully we're able to, again, connect here with Craig here. And hey, you know what was crazy was that last week we had Esiason on. Let's bring in my friend Craig Carton from WFAN. And Craig, so
there we go.
Here we go. Hey, look, so you're making a prediction that Boomer's retiring, huh?
Oh boy, not that again. I was asked a very simple question that if I don't know anything about it, and I answered the question. Next thing you know, there's newspaper articles being written about it, and he gets all upset about it. And I do not know when he's retiring. I'll do you one better. I also don't care.
Hey, man, you're really kicking ass on WFAN. Congratulations to you. Let me get into some questions here with you. Jalen Hurts, have you been surprised?
Yeah, I'm not surprised as from a standpoint of me thinking he wasn't a good quarterback. Surprised that I just didn't know. And I along with a lot of people, kind of thought that, if he was going to be a stud, the Eagles could actually make a run. And thus far, he's been a stud. I mean, the only thing I question about the Eagles, it's not Jalen Hurts. It's, trailing in the fourth quarter, can somebody else make a play? He's proven that he can make a play. Obviously, the touchdown against Detroit last week, or not Detroit, but the touchdown last week against Indianapolis, pardon me. The kid's calm, he's cool, he's collected. I just wonder for a team that hasn't had to come from behind and win games this year, in the playoffs, my gut is that they're going to have to, and I don't know who else is going to make a play.
You think the Eagles are the team that beat in the NFC?
I mean, Minnesota and the Eagles. I still question, Kirk Cousins in a big spot. I think the team you just said, San Francisco, is a team everybody's got to worry about because they have a better defense than all of them. And Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of similar to Kirk Cousins, right?
Yeah.
Do I trust Jimmy Garoppolo if I need him to make a play? But to be fair, he's got more playoff experience than all of them, and success in the playoffs. So I know it's chalk, but, those are the three teams right now that I think are the most likely to make a run.
And Craig, he's 43-19-0, Garoppolo. I mean, he's 4-2 in the postseason. He's been to two of the last three NFC championship games. And when you look at that Niner team right now, they got the best tackle in the game. They got the best rush end in the game, potentially. And Nick Bosa, that Fred Warner guy, can play too. I mean, they got a bunch of good football players on that 49er team. And now they get McCaffrey too.
Yeah.
That's got to be another team you got to look at.
Yeah, listen, I think San Francisco's kind of the sleeping giant right there. Now they're in first place. So, based on what Seattle does, I don't think Seattle's for real. Part of that's Geno Smith, who's played out of his ass, obviously, the first 2.5 months, to his credit. I think San Francisco right now is a team that you just don't want to play because they can beat you just on defense. And I don't know, I can't say the same yet about Philly, even with the additions of Joseph and Sue. They're a very good defensive team, but I think San Francisco is the best defensive team out of those three.
Man, you are a diehard Jet fan, and you're a suffering Jet fan.
Yes.
I know you are, dude. I mean, when the most popular Jet is Fireman Ed, I don't know, dog. I mean, hey, this Zach Wilson thing, it ain't happening. Or do you think he needs more time?
No, I think we know what he is. I think when you get into the second year of playing NFL football, I think we figure out who you are. Not that there aren't outliers to that. Guys have, suddenly look at Geno Smith, didn't play for 6 years, and he's a top 10 quarterback right now. I think part of the issue for Zach Wilson is that I don't know that he's ever struggled. And, when you struggle, it reveals kind of your character, number one. And number two, it says a lot about who you are. And I think he has struggled probably for the first time in his life. And now you've got a locker room against him. You've got a fan base against him. And let's be fair about it. Even though his record's 5-2 this year, he hasn't played very well. He has yet to be the reason they win games. Now, there's a lot of quarterbacks like that. he's not going to be out of the NFL, 6 months from now. But the Jets have a problem because their defense is world class. They can win a Super Bowl with the defense the way it is. They've got legitimate weapons at wide receiver. The running attack took a hit with Breece Hall going out, and their offensive line ain't great. But he's got the weapons there. He's got the defense. It's on him. And I think every now and then, that tough love still works, whether this new generation of athletes likes it or not. It does work.
I'll tell you, this Sauce Gardner kid, I got to vote for the Rookie of the Year.
Hold on, how did you get
I'm telling you, man, this kid's legit, isn't he, Craig?
Well, hold on. First off, you get to vote?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
No, not only that, I get a vote on the MVP. I get a vote on the Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, with that NFL honors. And I think I get Coach of the Year, too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Sauce Gardner is your AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think NFC is probably Hutchinson with Detroit.
Yeah.
He's played his ass off as well. The kid's real. I mean, Sauce is real. He's got the swagger to back up the play. And I think, that's not a guy you want to throw to because his recovery speed, is off the charts. And the kid obviously has a great football IQ. He knows what he's doing. And, between him and DJ Reed, I would dare you to find another cornerback duo better in the NFL right now. They're pretty damn good.
Hey, you're a fan then of what Joe Douglas is doing with the Jets?
Yeah, I think he had a generational draft last year. He had a horrendous draft his first year, but he's great at making trades. I think he's gotten the better of every trade he's made. And listen, last year, the Jet defense was the worst in the league. And now it's one of the best, and that's because of what Joe Douglas did. So I think they're pretty locked in a general manager for a long time.
Couple last questions for you here. Have you been surprised by Brian Daboll?
Yeah, surprised that he's taken a team that's got no talent and made that team a potential playoff team. Even yesterday's game, listen, they were outmatched every position on the field, and it was a close game they fought. So what he has done, he may have saved Daniel Jones's career. He's resurrected Saquon Barkley's career, and he's competent. Like there's a difference between being a great, weekday coach and being a leader of men at practice and putting game plans in, and then being a great coach on the sideline. And those are two different things. We've known a lot of guys who are great coaches but lousy during a game and vice versa. And I think he is as competent a sideline coach as we have in the NFL. He's really good.
Do you think Derek Carr is going to be the starting quarterback in New York for the Giants or the Jets next year?
Wow. No. I'd say no. I think there's a better chance that Jimmy Garoppolo is in New York. I also wouldn't be shocked if Daniel Jones stays in New York and plays for a different team.
You think he's done enough, Craig, where you think the Giant organization now is looking at bringing him back?
Oh, I think he's going to be the Jet quarterback.
Oh, the Jet?
Listen, I think it depends what he's willing to sign. I think they probably franchise Saquon Barkley because the number's better. It's like $12.5 million. I don't think they're going to pay Daniel Jones 30 plus. But I think if Daniel Jones recognizes I'm in really good hands with Brian Daboll, I'm not going to go anywhere else where I'm going to have a better coaching. And I think if he's willing to sign, 3 or 4 year deal, $20 million per, something like that, I think Daniel Jones might come back. I just don't know who else is going to offer him, the buku contract. I think his best bet's to stay right where he is.
Absolutely. Craig, how's the new show coming? I've seen a little bit of it. How's it coming, man? I mean, anytime you get something like that off the ground, it's always from from scratch, and you got to scratch and claw it. How is that compared to building a radio show that, you're so comfortable in building a radio show? You've built this WFAN show into a monster again. Talk about building a TV show, though. Is there any similarities?
Yeah, so the show is on Fox Sports 1. It's in the morning. It's from 7 to 9:30 Eastern time. And not my idea. It's called The Carton Show, but I promise you that's not my ego. And it's not my idea. It's Radio is just easier to me because I've done it for 30 years. I know exactly how to do it. I know what I want to do. I know exactly what to ask of everybody else involved. I've done a lot of TV, but I've never done a daily TV show like this. So as much as I think I'm kind of training all the producers on our show to think the way I think so they can produce me better and come up with, better kind of storylines that I want to talk about, they're also educating me on the ins and outs of TV on a daily basis. One of the things I find that I don't like about it is the structure of it. Like radio is more
too many guardrails.
Yeah, like radio is just more free flowing. You have a lot of time to get to your point. So even if you kind of mess it up the first time, I can talk my way back on track. And in TV, it's very structured. Like, okay, in this 8-minute segment, we're going to talk about this. So part of that also is I don't do that. I'm not scripted, obviously. And they've allowed me to kind of go off of where they normally go TV-wise. So the best part for me is that Fox Sports 1, kind of hired me for a reason, and they're allowing me to be me. So that means you'll see some segments that are awesome. You'll see some that don't work, but I'll own it. We'll be honest about it. And I think that kind of sets us apart. Plus, what the show isn't, it's not two guys yelling at each other about a manufactured sports opinion. It's like, hey, I saw this cool highlight last night. I want you guys to see it. Or, hey, here's a wacky opinion about something that nobody else is talking about. And I think that's why it's garnered, an audience pretty quickly.
So it's Seinfeld of sports.
Yeah, I guess to an extent. Yeah. Like, I know what I'm doing. It just may not seem like it.
It's the Seinfeld of sports. Hey, I don't know what's going to happen. It's just Craig Carton being Craig Carton.
And I tell the producers, I said, look, you may know the overview of what the topic is, but I can't tell you what I'm going to say because I don't know until I do it. And that for them, I think that's where they're kind of catching up to me, where like I might be talking Dallas Cowboys, but I can't tell you an hour before the show what I'm going to say about them because I don't know. So I think they're kind of following me as much as I'm following them. But I can tell you this, it's been a lot of fun. And there's only 3 or 4 of those jobs in America. So I'm blessed to have one.
Absolutely. And Craig, blessed to have you take time for me, man. I know you're swamped with stuff between the afternoon show and what you're doing now, plus the holidays. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you doing this. God bless you, man. Have a rest of your Thanksgiving. Thank you, dude.
Thanks. And I'm sorry, I know I kept missing the text, so I'm glad I connected before the show's over. And have a great holiday. Best to your family, and we'll do it again soon.
You got it. Craig Carton, WFAN and FS1. Appreciate him coming aboard with us like that and giving us a little bit there. That's really cool of him to do. What we're going to do next, we're going to preview Packers and Eagles. And we're going to look at Week 11. Also, at 3:30 Eastern Time, we will check in with Philly 500. Get his take on what's going on in the National Football League with the Philadelphia Eagles. Niners, Cowboys. What did we take away from the Cowboy win yesterday? What did you take away from that? We'll talk more about that. What is this now? This is now the BigSilz show now. This is the BigSilz show. This is the bonanza that's been going on. We still got a couple more hours here together. Okay? And then, like I said, at the bottom of the hour, Philly 500. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.